Welcome back, my spooky friends. Tonight, we're diving into the chilling world of cursed objects, those seemingly innocuous items imbued with sinister energy. We've scoured ancient texts and whispered rumors to bring you 3 terrifying tales of cursed amulets. So, dim the lights, grab your courage, and prepare to be drawn into the unsettling world of cursed jewelry, where death is not a finality but a promise whispered on the lips of the damned. Our journey begins in the sweltering sands of Egypt, a land steeped in ancient history where the line between life and death was but a whisper in the desert wind. Deep beneath the sands, hidden within a forgotten tomb, lay the treasures of a long-dead pharaoh, his eternal slumber guarded by more than just time and stone. Amongst the gold and jewels, a glint of something darker caught the eye of the intrepid explorers. A small obsidian amulet carved in the shape of a scarab beetle, its surface cold to the touch, as if radiating the chill of the tomb itself. Little did they know this was no mere trinket, but a conduit to the pharaoh's vengeful spirit, an ancient curse lying dormant, waiting to be unleashed. The leader of the expedition, driven by greed and ambition, scoffed at the warnings etched into the tomb walls, dismissing them as mere superstition. He pocketed the amulet, its cold weight a stark contrast to the burning greed in his heart. That night, the nightmares began. Whispers in the darkness, the feeling of unseen eyes watching, and the suffocating presence of something ancient and malevolent. Days turned into a waking nightmare as the pharaoh's curse tightened its grip. The once robust explorer, now gaunt and pale, was plagued by visions of the pharaoh's burial chamber, the air thick with the stench of decay and the echoes of ancient rituals. His dreams offered no escape, instead becoming a canvas for the pharaoh's wrath, filled with images of his gruesome demise. Driven to the brink of madness, the explorer tried desperately to rid himself of the cursed amulet. He tossed it into the Nile, only to find it inexplicably back in his pocket the next morning, cold and heavy. He tried to bury it, to destroy it, but the amulet always returned, a constant reminder of the doom he had brought upon himself. The curse, like the pharaoh's reign, was absolute. The explorer's health deteriorated rapidly, his body racked with an unseen ailment. His once bright eyes, now clouded with fear, reflected the chilling realization that his greed had awakened a power he could not control. As his life ebbed away, the visions intensified. The pharaoh, adorned in his death shroud, stood over him, his skeletal hand outstretched, the obsidian amulet gleaming on his finger. The explorer's demise was as swift as it was gruesome. The obsidian scarab, clutched tightly in his lifeless hand, seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, a silent testament to the ancient curse it carried. Our next tale takes us to the chilling shadows of Victorian London, a city shrouded in fog and whispered secrets. It's here, in the labyrinthine alleys and gaslit streets, that we encounter the chilling story of the Bloodstone pendant, a piece of jewelry as captivating as it is cursed. The pendant, a cabochon-cut bloodstone set in heavy silver, its surface etched with strange symbols, was said to have once belonged to a notorious serial killer, a man known as the Thames Shadow. His reign of terror gripped London in fear, his victims chosen seemingly at random, their lives taken with chilling brutality. The bloodstone pendant, always present at the scenes of his gruesome crimes, became a morbid symbol of his madness. When the Thames Shadow met his end at the hangman's rope, the pendant vanished, as if swallowed by the fog itself. Years passed, and the legend of the Thames Shadow and his cursed pendant faded into the city's grim folklore. Then, as suddenly as it had disappeared, the bloodstone pendant resurfaced in a pawnbroker's shop in the city's underbelly. A young art student, drawn to the pendant's macabre beauty and unaware of its sinister history, purchased. He saw it as a unique piece, not knowing he had invited a malevolent entity into his life. At first, the changes were subtle. The student, once known for his cheerful disposition, became withdrawn and irritable. His once vibrant paintings, now dark and disturbing, reflected a growing obsession with violence and death. His nightmares were haunted by the Thames shadow, the killer's chilling whispers worming their way into his waking thoughts. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, the Bloodstone's influence seeping into his mind. Driven by an unseen force, the student found himself drawn to the dark underbelly of London. He began to frequent the same taverns and alleyways the Thames shadow had once haunted. The once promising artist was now a shell of his former self, consumed by the darkness that emanated from the Bloodstone pendant. His sanity, chipped away by the whispers of the dead killer, crumbled with each passing day. One foggy morning, the student's landlady discovered a scene of unimaginable horror in his rented room. The student, his eyes vacant and bloodshot, stood in the center of the room, the Bloodstone pendant gleaming ominously against his blood-soaked shirt. The details of that night were never fully revealed, lost to the fog of madness and the chilling silence of the dead. The Bloodstone pendant vanished once more, leaving behind a trail of blood and madness, a chilling testament to the enduring power of its curse. Chapter 3. The Witch's Locket. Our final tale takes us to the rolling hills of Salem, Massachusetts, a place forever etched in history for its dark association with witchcraft and persecution. It's here, amidst the whispers of the past, that we uncover the chilling story of the Witch's Locket, a small silver locket, its surface tarnished with age and despair, its clasp in the shape of a serpent biting its own tail, a symbol of eternity and the cyclical nature of life, death, and revenge. The locket, we are told, belonged to a young woman named Anya, accused of witchcraft during the Salem witch trials. Anya, a healer and herbalist, was different, her knowledge of the natural world feared and misunderstood by the superstitious townsfolk. When a series of misfortunes befell Salem, crops failed, livestock perished, and illness spread like wildfire, Anya became an easy scapegoat. Accused of consorting with the devil and wielding dark magic, she was dragged before the court, her pleas of innocence drowned out by the fervor of the mob. Throughout her trial, Anya clutched a silver locket, a gift from her grandmother, a symbol of her connection to her ancestry and the healing power of nature. This locket, however, became a symbol of her supposed guilt, deemed by the court to be a repository of dark magic, a conduit to the devil himself. Condemned as a witch, Anya was sentenced to burn at the stake. As the flames consumed her, she cursed those who had condemned her, her voice a raw, desperate plea for justice, her words imbued with the raw power of her innocence and the searing agony of betrayal. Legend has it that as Anya breathed her last, the silver locket, clutched tightly in her hand, pulsed with an eerie light, absorbing her final breath, her anguish, and her dying curse. The locket, retrieved from the ashes, was cold to the touch, its surface now etched with a faint serpentine pattern, as if the serpent clasp had come to life, forever entwined with Anya's tragic fate. Years passed, and the locket, whispered to be cursed, was passed from person to person, each owner meeting an untimely and often gruesome end. Some succumbed to sudden, inexplicable illnesses, their bodies ravaged by unknown ailments. Others were plagued by accidents, each more bizarre and horrific than the last. The Witch's Locket, it seemed, was not content with simply taking lives. It reveled in the slow, agonizing demise of its victims, their suffering a testament to the injustice inflicted upon Anya centuries ago. Thank you for joining us on this chilling exploration of cursed objects. We've journeyed from ancient tombs to fog-choked streets, from the Salem witch trials to the darkest corners of human greed and despair. Remember, not all that glitters is gold, and some treasures are best left undisturbed. If you enjoyed tonight's stories, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more chilling tales, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, sleep tight and beware the whispers of the cursed.